very slippery. We have here Mustang GTD. Hello. Towards the barrier, yep, it's very tricky, especially when you have this much space between the grass and your front wheel. This is a car I've been very much looking forward to drive from the beginning of the year, ever since I started my journey with Lucid Air Midnight Dream Edition, because this is Lucid Air Sapphire, a most extreme iteration of the Air that we already know, and I would say track optimized, track focused, and a lot more. So to run you through the numbers, the normal Lucid that I have, that is currently in Croatia, by the way, I flew back all the way from Croatia to Nürburgring to drive this, to be more precise. The normal Air Midnight Dream Edition has just 1,111 horsepower, 1111, because that's absolutely not enough in today's standards. This one has 1234 horsepower, so 1234. And of course it's not important to just add horsepower, but to actually make it work. And that's where it gets really interesting. So, first of all, massive brakes, because with big power comes great responsibility. Carbon ceramics on the front, 420 mil disc size and 10 piston massive brake calipers. On the back we have 385 mil with 4 piston calipers. And then to talk about the tires. Those are Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires, but developed especially for Lucid, so we have here LM1 badge. And what's specific about them is they have PS4S outside, but they have a Cup 2 sidewall, so extra stiff, but you still have a great performance in the wet and in the dry. And that's something that we already saw on the track, because yes, we already did a lap on a very wet circuitdays.co.uk track day. So it was a track day and it was wet, but it was still very exciting, so keep watching. Unfortunately, this was the last opportunity for us to drive this year, this particular car, because yeah, the season has come to an end. So for dry laps, stay tuned for next year. Yep, but gave me a good taste of what the car can do. Now, other than that, the most exciting feature, what we could actually feel in the wet, and I was very happy that we could drive it in the wet, because in the wet you can feel all the perfections or sometimes also imperfections, but in this case the true torque vectoring really came out in its full glory, I would say. The difference between the normal Air and this one is because it has true torque vectoring. What does it mean? The normal Air has 2 electric motors, 1 in the front, 1 in the back. This one has 3, 1 in the front and 2 separate in the back, that can independently control both the wheels and help you to rotate the car or to slow the car down. And in this case, the rotation was magical. Moreover, the traction control system has been completely improved, because this one has completely brand new in-house developed system that measures the traction 1000 times per second, which is, I believe like roughly 10 times faster than the previous gen, and you can also feel it. It's a lot less intrusive, it lets you play, and it's there to catch you if things go really, really bad. More importantly, we have also aero, a carbon ducktail on the back, also some weight reduction. So whereas the normal Air has the glass roof, this one has aluminum version, better for lower central point of gravity, and also a different spoiler on, front splitter on the front that sticks out a bit more, and a lot more aero underneath. So I think we should put it on the lift to show you, to walk you through it. But more importantly, also on the inside, a couple of features that I want to show you. Alcantara steering wheel, very, very nice. Seats are also different, and that is for me one of the main features, or I would say the more point of complaint towards the other Lucid, because the car is so fast, and when you go through the corners, this one has nice side bolsters that really keep you in place, especially when you go a bit sideways, that we may or may not have done on the track. And that is really, really amazing. So I really love those. In addition, look at those headrests. So you can actually pull them out. You can pull them out. Yep, there we go. Or, yeah, they go step by step, and then when you pull it out completely, they go completely back. And you can drive with the seat with the helmet that I have demonstrated. Finally, we have different mode. So we have smooth mode, we have the swift mode, we have Sapphire mode, whereas on the normal Lucid it's the sprint mode. And then finally there's also track mode. That makes things more interesting and optimized. And you can change the power delivery from drag strip when you have the instant power instantly, hot lap, and endurance mode that allows you to run on the track with the optimal. So for drag strip you have the optimized for quarter mile performance, hot lap for peak performance over a single lap, or endurance you can do many laps as you want to. And then also the regen settings, stability control settings, etc. By the way, for the wet lap we were running in track mode. That again allowed us to have good play, but would save us if things would go really wrong. Finally, what's really cool about this particular car that I've been driving, look at the mileage, 42,000 kilometers, and to be precise, it's all been in development, because that is the official development car, the development Sapphire car, and it's still here at the ring to do some industry pool, etc. Maybe some lap times, maybe some other time, who knows. I may or may not have clocked that car and then put down some very interesting times. Not allowed to tell you, sorry. But anyway, let's put it on the lift, walk you through a bit of more aero modes underneath, because that's also where the things get very, very interesting. Alright, so the car is on the lift, so let's get nerdy with it. First of all, let me show you the front splitter that we looked already at outside. It sticks out a lot more than the normal car. By normal car again, it's quite crazy to call like 1100 horsepower the normal car. Yeah, than a non-Sapphire version, but what I really like is the curvature on the front. That is actually very functional in terms of aero. In addition, we have additional air guide elements that the normal car does not have. And then what we see here is actually the battery, which has the housing made of composite, of carbon fiber, traditionally speaking, whereas the normal car is non-composite, it's some sort of a metal. Then on the back we have some additional guide elements, much more aggressive diffuser than the regular car. And also I forgot to show you these small, I would say, rail curtains. That's also not on a normal car, but definitely benefit a lot for the efficiency and the aeroflow. Then one of my favorite parts of this car is, or are, the rear wishbones. Of course, now the car is in the air, so they are dropped, but when the car is on the floor, they are flat and pretty much flush with the underbody, and therefore very aerodynamic efficient. Finally, they also have extra negative camber compared to the stock car, and the same goes for the front. It has more negative camber than the stock car thanks to the different knuckle. And while the car is in the air, let me use this opportunity to show you, or to emphasize on the massiveness of the front brakes. My head is quite big, but the brakes are bigger. Makes me feel better about myself. No, final thing I want to say, there's a lot more things that we cannot see that have been changed completely, such as the suspension, different springs, different damper control, different bushings, a lot more to it. Finally, again, we had just 2 wet laps, but that already blew me away. I'm very much looking forward to drive this car again in the dry opportunity, dry track, because my God, it's fast. It's really, really fast. The top speed is 205 miles per hour. For me, 285 kilometers per hour was already quite fast in these wet conditions. So maybe the next time we'll do another track day in the dry, hopefully, where we can hit this magic number somewhere north of 300. Yeah, but until then, stay tuned. Hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I have. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you in the next video with this baby. Probably next year. Speaking of which, I think Gravity needs to come out by then as well. That's going to be nice. Maybe we can do a full family lap with the dogs and everything, because why not? Eindelijk!
Eindelijk! Je krijgt 7 kleuren stront nou, hè? Maar dat vind je niet erg.
Ja, geen bang. Welcome on board of this video. Next to me, it's a very special person in my life. My best friend from childhood, high school. We've known each other for like what, 20 something plus years? 22.
So? Something like that.
22. So, maybe in the next time we'll do another track day in the dry, hopefully, where we can hit this magic number somewhere north of 300. Yeah, but until then, stay tuned. Hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I have. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you in the next video with this baby. Probably next year. Speaking of which, I think Gravity needs to come out by then as well. That's going to be nice. Maybe we can do a full family lap with the dogs and everything, because why not? You've been coming here also for a decade,
Yeah, something like that.
trying to make a lap with me, and there was always something.
Yeah.
And even now there was red flag, and we thought, oh no, maybe even now. Yeah, anyway. Fully wet, 1200 horsepower, your first time, so it's going to be exciting, spicy. First thing that I instantly love are the seats, because they have much more side support than the regular Air.
Oil, their siphon, all the way to Brideside, under the rain, apparently very hard to spot, just keep your eyes out.
Okay, there's Amber, thank you. Big shout out to Bridge to Gantry Dale for helping us out. Okay, so let's see what this baby can do. Spicy, it's track day by the way, overtaking left side only, not sure if there's going to be traffic. Ooh. Not the best conditions, but sliding, sliding, sliding. The first impression is very good, because this one has true torque vectoring, so there's so much more turn-in. It's amazing, I love it. Woohoo! Wheel spin. Whee! So behind us on T13 there's actually Ford Performance trying to do a lap record with GTD today, but unfortunately not. So maybe we're gonna say hello to them on our way back. So sad. Oh, it's sliding. Ugh. I really wanted to try out the car in its dry glory. Slide, 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 slide. How are your first impressions? You happy?
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, that's good. And we need to... Woohoo! Traction control is actually good, because we're now in track mode and it lets me slide, but it catches me last moment, so I'm quite happy. ABS system also very good. So the main thing about this Sapphire versus the normal Air is this one has an in-house developed traction control system which calculates the inputs thousands times per second, whereas the previous one is doing roughly, I think, 20 times per second or so. So it's like a lot faster, extremely fast. So I might be wrong in terms of amounts per second, but who's counting? Woo! Sideways true foot plats, tiny bit. Standing water here, always watch out. Watching out. Watching out, some other cars. Alright. Well, this car can do 205 miles per hour, which is 300 plus kilometers per hour. Today, I don't think we're gonna hit that with these conditions. But I'm really, you know, I'm so sad that it's raining. And well, the good thing is I can operate the screen, the touch screen, with my gloves. So if you're in the winter and you have what's it called, you have gloves on, you can probably operate the touch screen, which is very, very cool. But what did I want to say? Kind of forgot what I wanted to say. Ah, yeah. In the wet you can feel the car so much better than anything else, but unfortunately on the video it probably looks slow, where it's definitely not the case. Woo! Dorito, baby Dorito. Come on. Woo, okay. Okay. Yeah. Oh, this one is not working. Need to put everything in auto, in sync, so the windshield is not fogging up. That was a bit of a rookie mistake of mine to do that, but we're back and we should have a defogged windshield. Alright, so Metzgersfeld, not as wet as previous ones. It's so sad that it's It is the way it is. You can hear ABS kicking in, so before people gonna say, okay, why are you driving so slow? Because there's like zero grip on the Nordschleife whatsoever. But it's still good, impressive, and nice. Alright, so so here is where we've been warned for the oil. Yep. So I need to really watch out, because here is where the car broke in two pieces actually and caught fire. So looks like here, because yeah, lots of oil, and I almost don't feel my front end. So yeah, that's where it is. I'm gonna go very, very slow through here. Woohoo! Spicy. All the way to Pride Side, probably because it was running down to here. Staying off, staying off, staying off. Yeah, lots of oil. Yeah, lots of oil till here. And should be no oil. We're halfway through the track. Congratulations. Easy through all the links. Off the braking line for the wet line braking. Grip levels are really, really good. I mean, with this car, Nordschleife by itself has zero grip in these conditions. Some brave soul out there trying to, I don't know what everyone's trying to. Problem is not only it's wet, it's also cold, like very, very cold. So no temperature in the tires, no temperature in the track. Super, super sketchy. Yeah, it makes me quite sad for the car that I'm driving, because I really wanted to feel out what it can do. Especially since we're on the track day today, we can really push it a bit more, because we have more experienced drivers with very prepared cars, as you can see. He's probably on Cup 2s or Cup 2Rs, impossible to drive. Yeah, there's no grip, no grip, no grip, no grip. Off we go. Alrighty, will they let us through into the carousel? Maybe? Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it. One more. Woohoo! Drifting through the carousel. That's how wet it is. La 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 la. Are you having fun?
Yeah, definitely.
Good. So it's wet, but it's like, yeah. But I guess it can go only higher from here. So next year, when this car is back, we can do some dry laps then. Then you can tell me if the difference is big. Mehr Seifen. ABS kicking in. I hate this corner in the wet, because it's downhill, gravity is pushing you down. It's a lot trickier than it seems. Woo! Sliding, sliding. I also really love how the regen is working on this car. because it's actually stabilizes it, helps you to rotate the car like a traditional internal combustion engine car. That's very nice. Off the dry line. Staying off the dry line. Oh, I forgot, I can do an instruction lap actually for the second one, so it's more exciting for people who are tuning in. So we're gonna have a bit of everything. A bit of talking about the car, a bit of instructing, a bit of high-speed section in a bit, hopefully. Can you press the car thing? Thank you. Alright. Alrighty, up we go then. Gonna have the main straight now. So hopefully we can see some nice number. We did 280 or so, so that was fun. Alright, so we're doing instruction lap then. So going to Tiergarten, you can be quite smooth through here because there is not a lot of rubber, because it's also quite new tarmac. The most important thing here, however, when you go on the brakes, you're sliding almost through because there is no grip, especially here staying on the outside because the inside is very slippery. But we are going to T13 because I want to see if Mustang GTD is there, but probably they already packed up and left. But let's have a look. So we have here, it's there ahead of us. Yeah, they were supposed to do a lap record today, but unfortunately not. They're in the smoking area. Yeah. Hello. Hi everyone. Anyway, so Mustang GTD again will not do a lap record today, unless it's going to be a lap record in the wet. So we are approaching Sabine Schmidt's curve. Stay out on the outside. Inside is very slippery. You can go gently on the gas straight ahead to the 2 kilometer sign, and here's where it gets tricky. You need to go on the brakes and stay long outside. Inside is very slippery again. Outside is very good. Middle is also kind of okay. Watch out for the bump here. 3, 2, 1. Car settles on the brakes, sliding through because it's very, very slippy. So watch out that you need to like really let go the braking pedal if you need to regain the traction. Staying out, crossing the line to again to the outside. Yeah, the car is sliding, crossing the line again to the outside, then again to the outside and gently on the gas. Whoa, still sliding. So here it becomes tricky. Go on the brakes on the outside, off the dry line, crossing over where there is no rubber, and again crossing over to the outside, and you can go kind of early on the gas through here because it's a long straight. Now with the race car I would go completely flat out. We have now standing water and my best friend next to me, so I do not want to do any stupid stuff. I prefer for Flugplatz to go on the brakes in the middle, let the car slide to the outside, regain traction. You're staying out. You can even take the rumble strip. I do not advise it. And you go. Watch out here for standing water. So going gently on the gas. The car can break loose, especially on the left side. But if your tires are good, you can do it pretty much flat out. So flat to Schwedenkreuz. Early on the brakes, gentle, settle the car. Stay also on the middle, off the rubber zone. Stay off the inside as well to avoid the dry line. And stop braking on the outside. Until last year or year before, you could go with the inside because this is new tarmac, but nowadays it's covered in rubber again. Staying out, 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 then proceeding to foxhole. You can go pretty much flat out, just watch out here for a jump. This one here, 3, 2, 1. Whoop. Especially rear-wheel driven cars, they can get completely kicked out. In the bottom, you might have standing water, so proceed with caution, but that's kind of it. New tarmac, also low G-force surface, so you can kind of take it, but watch out, because here comes the old part and you need to be on the outside. If you take the inside, you're going to go straight and you're going to be the reason why there's new barrier over there. Other than forced, you can do a bit of sliding, or maybe better not, but this is a very slippy section, so watch out especially here, because the dry line crosses and you may lose grip, especially with a rear-wheel driven car. Metzgersfeld, for now it's straight, it's all fine, it's all good. Then we're going on the brakes to the outside, to the sign 103, and staying out, out, out. Do not go to the inside, because that's very slippy. Here's a tricky one. Go to the left side on the brakes to the outside, because you're braking off the dry line, and then again you staying away from the dry line on the outside of the corner. Gently transitioning to the outside because you're crossing the dry line. Going here and be extra early on the brakes, because you could hear ABS kicking in, because it's very slippery, very tight, but more importantly very steep downhill, so the gravity will push the car downwards. So in the wet, be extra cautious through there. Do not try to do anything crazy. If you brake too soon, you might lose a tenth of a second. If you brake too late, you will lose the whole race, or your car, or maybe even more, depends what you're driving. This corner is called miss hit miss, but in the wet it's miss miss miss. You're just missing the apex constantly, and then you're approaching Beersiphon, and then the middle is a good braking point to avoid the dry line. But now today a car broke in half here. Which car? A Lotus, before you're going to be asking questions if something modern broke today. But yeah, and it spilled lots of oil, so it's covered in oil, so we're staying on the outside. For the reference point, you can use the graffiti on the track, because this means if there's graffiti, no cars are driving on it, because the graffiti is not being scrubbed off. Why is he coming off? Oh, sad. Anyway, this means the graffiti is not being scrubbed off by the cars, so there should be more grip than on the normal dry line. Yep. Also here I like to stay a bit on the outside, because as you can see, no grip whatsoever, especially here on the exit. And then we're proceeding to Lauda Links, where Niki Lauda horribly crashed in 1976. So stay on the outside and be gentle with throttle application. And here important to brake on the inside, because the outside is extremely slippery, again for the same reason. Now it gets tricky. So avoid the inside, but the dry line will be crossing here. So if you have a rear-wheel driven car, it might step out actually. Yeah, so watch out with throttle application. Here I like to stay out to have not too much of a steering radius through the quadruple left-hander. 1, 2, 3. Now this is a tricky one. This year the left side is been redone 2 years ago, so the grip is still okay, but maybe next year not anymore. So maybe next year you will have to be more on the outside. We have some Golf ahead of us, moving over, very nice. Proceeding to Mutkurve. Just be gentle, not too much stress, not too much leaning on the tires, on the brakes, staying more on the outside, because the inside, again, dry line and quite high G-force corner. You can feel the car sliding to the outside. We're now on the dry line, so watch out. Here on the left, you have nice trees that make the track kind of dry, a complete outside, which gives you lots of grip. You can use it to your advantage. And crossing over here and on the brakes. Those trees, by the way, were added last minute to Assetto Corsa Competizione when I tested the game, and I said like, you're missing the trees, and they added them to the final version of the game. So let's see soon with Assetto Corsa Evo what's going to be there. Anyway, Starstrekker completely on the outside, carousel, another tree. So we're going on the brakes, under the tree, and going through the inside, staying in. Stay long on the inside. Usually in the dry you would jump out, but here as you can see, quite slippery. So stay long in to not upset the car. Gently on the gas, going to the right side, staying longer out. And here you really want to be cautious, because the car is sliding to the outside. Here's fake grass. If you touch it, you're done. Earlier today a car did it exactly that, and there's a reason why there are a couple of very new barriers over here. Crossing over to the outside, but watch out when you cross the dry line, especially there's kind of off-camber situation, breaking off the dry line to the outside. Small river crossing, so if it rains a lot, there will be a lot more standing water, so you want to watch out through there. Breaking off the dry line to the outside, missing the apex, going to the outside, and then going again to the outside on the right. Very gentle through Whippleman. Do not do any Whippleman challenge unless you're driving a full-blown GT3 race car with prototype Michelin Confidential tires. Also here, breaking off the dry line, straight, running wide. Use the track, but also here you can feel there's no grip. You cannot feel, but you can see by my steering movements, I need to counter steer. ABS and sliding through. Again, just like Colin Hart, the gravity is working against us. Be very cautious through there. One time in 2019 when I was racing, I had ABS failure in a race car in the wet, and since then I have PTSD. I didn't crash, remarkably. That one time I didn't crash. And yeah, but it's very sketchy. Brunchen, stay out. YouTube corner, you know it, so stay outside. Do not take the inside unless you want to drift, but I wouldn't know why you want to do it because it's not allowed. Inside of ice curve, very slippery. Like I said, it's not allowed and it's not making you faster anyway. So here's a fun one. This left section, this patch of tarmac has been redone and it's super grippy, but now it's again not grippy at all. So just the left side of the curb is very grippy. Breaking off the line, going to the outside, outside, the car might slide, outside, watch out with crossing the dry line here, and you might slide outside. I think I messed it up a bit. Stay a bit more on the outside through here, do not go too close to the left. Then crossing over, you're crossing the dry line now, so turn in very late and staying out again, do not go to the apex, staying out, left side, staying left and on the brakes, and also here you stay completely on the outside. The guys ahead of us have definitely instructor with them, so they're knowing what they're doing, or at least they're being told what they're need to do. I'm now on the dry line because you should be staying on the right, but there's a car. But for the mini carousel, I prefer to brake on the inside and then stay a bit more on top where there's less rubber from the cars usually driving it, but you gotta be cautious and watch out. Galgenkopf, the last corner, braking off the line straight towards the barrier. Yep, it's very tricky, especially when you have this much space between the grass and your front wheel. Stay out completely. Inside is very slippery because it's a 180 kilometers per hour corner, so high G forces, lots of rubber. And then here, watch out with throttle application, because here you're crossing the dry line, and here is where Apex G2 RSMR taxi crashed the very first time, because he thought to finish the lap, he went on the gas, and then it lost it just before the gantry. And that's kind of it. You want to do it now yourself? I thought you were learning, taking notes.
Yeah, no.
No?
No, I remember the bed, but...
Okay. What's your favorite part?
My favorite part?
Yeah.
The curves.
Cool.
Yeah.
Not...
Also, I liked everything. It was my first time, so I liked everything.
Nice, I'm happy. Good to hear. Alright, well, that's kind of it. My first... What's it called? First experience with Lucid. Lucid Air Sapphire. And it's fantastic because the things you feel in the wet, you have so much control thanks to the torque vectoring, thanks to the new traction control system. I cannot wait to try it out in the dry. Now it made me more sad that it's wet because I wanted to try it out in the dry, but at the same time it's also good that it's wet because I could feel the car better. Not good for YouTube views, but great for me. And finally we could make it happen. Yeah, sorry I talked about the track and not about our times in the past. If people want to know more about Lisa, ask it and we will feature something on the second channel maybe. I don't know, we'll see.
We'll see about that.
Are you moving to the Nürburgring next year? Fucking sick.
How'd it go?
Handling is amazing. It's
Like
really
it?
so good. I really want to drive it in the dry.
We should make that happen.
Because because in the wet, I'm happy I did it in the wet because you can feel how the car dances and how the torque vectoring is doing. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
It's not Lucid that I know.
Yeah.
It's everything what I wanted it to be, and even more.
Yeah.
So starting with the seats, but then all the traction control, the torque vectoring is f***ing sick.